Turning again to Buffalo, where state and local police, the FBI, and county prosecutors are working to uncover more details about the suspect and what led to this weekend's deadly mass shooting. Let's bring in Erie County District Attorney John Flynn now to talk more about the ongoing investigation. Mr. Flynn, thanks so much for joining us this morning. I know you're so busy. Have there been any new developments you can share with us regarding the investigation?
Well, I can't specifically talk about any pieces of evidence right now, but and the answer to your question is that, yes, there are new developments that we are uncovering every day. The posture that we're in right now basically is that I've already levied a murder in a first-degree charge. That's the highest murder charge that we actually have in New York State. So the next step will be the grand jury aspect of this. So when I get into the grand jury investigation, it's at that stage that I can add on additional charges, which is my plan. So the component here dealing with the hate crimes and the domestic terrorism, we are finding and gathering new information on that on a minute-by-minute basis.
Mr. Flynn, have the suspect's parents been able to shed any light on what they may have known about their son's state of mind?
Again, I can't specifically, confirm or deny that. I can tell you that we are talking to everyone who had contact with this young man. We are doing everything we can to find out where he was, not only in the preceding 24 or 48 hours before this happened, but where he was a week prior, what he was doing and thinking a year prior. Has been reported, last June, he allegedly made some comments to a teacher committing some type of a mass shooting. So we are talking to everyone and any him or who may have had contact with them before this tragic event happened.
So, in regards to what Nikki brought up, his state of mind, we've got this manifesto that was posted online. It's like 180 pages. I don't know if you got a chance to go through it, but, can you shed any light on the manifesto, the contents, and whether or not it's been confirmed that the suspect actually wrote it?
Well, that's due. In order to get that manifesto, either at trial or even in the grand jury. And so, that's what we're doing right now. We're just gathering the evidence that we can, to in fact tie it to him. But what is written in there has led on different rabbit holes, quite frankly, where we can take information that we got from the manifesto and then go and follow up different leads and different pieces of evidence that we get from that manifesto. It's the same thing, with a phone. When you grab a phone at a crime scene and you get into that phone leads you down different paths. So all the evidence that we've gathered here in this case, from his car, from his home, from the crime scene, we're drilling down on all that.
Yeah, I guess that, when we first sort of started the segment by saying that this investigation could take a while, and in my head I was like, how could it? You arrested a suspect at the scene. How difficult could this be? But now you explain kind of like the more you sort of tug at facts and information, the more there is to investigate.
Correct. Actually, we really don't have a lot of time here, to be quite honest with you, because due to the fact that I charged him with the murder in a first-degree charge, the clock is actually ticking on me right now. I could extend that clock in the sense that I could file like different charges and have him arrested on, a hate crime charge or a domestic terrorism charge, and then have that like go down a separate path. Mm-hmm. But that really doesn't make sense. So what makes the most logical sense is that I use the foundation that I have right now, which is the murder in a first-degree charge, and I get that in the grand jury process, and then I just add other charges in the grand jury. I only have 45 days from the felony hearing on Thursday in order to get that grand jury done. So in essence here, if I stick to that game plan, which I intend to do, unless something, takes me off the path here, if I stick to that game plan, I'll have this done within 45 days.
So listen, you mentioned the possibility of a hate crime. What sort of factors would you be looking for in order to move forward on that?
Well, what's unusual about this case right here, when you're talking about a murder case, is that one thing your viewers may not understand, they say on TV shows all the time, is that in a typical murder case, I don't need motive in order to prove the crime. Now, again, it's always good to have motive, and I know that motive is always, played out on crime shows. But the reality here is that I don't need motive in a typical murder case. There happens to be, though, a charge in New York State called domestic act of terrorism motivated by hate. So that particular charge right there actually has the word motivated by hate right in it. So in that charge, I would have to be able to prove the motive of hate. So that, that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. I'm looking at that charge right there, this domestic terrorism motivated by hate charge, and whether or not I have enough evidence of that to put in the grand jury.
John Flynn, you got a lot on your plate. Thanks for taking time out to talk to us.
You're welcome.